Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of appropriate ages, this is the Daily Deucey Podcast. Today is actually Wednesday, and it's the 3rd of February. Still really shitty outside, and like I shoveled again, and there's still fucking more snow, and it's just a fucking mess, and I'm sick of it, and I'm really looking forward to the time when my sons can help me with this, because I'm fucking sick of actually shoveling now. So as soon as they get old enough to do that, I'm going to need to have them be on that pretty much immediately. Quick shout out to our fake sponsor of the day, at Chris D Comedy, Chris DiStefano, aka Chrissy Chaos, aka part of the Hey Babe podcast. Check him out here, because I'm going to annoy Chris D and Giannis until they fucking say why that they're breaking up their History Hyenas podcast, which is the funniest podcast in the world, which is like a dual podcast, because Tim Dillon's is just as funny, even though he was just on their podcast the other day. But what the fuck, babe? Chrissy, let's hear what the fuck's up with the History Hyenas. Nobody wants you to break up. Get the fuck back with Giannis. I heard you got a True TV fucking show. Nobody gives a fuck about TV, bub. Okay? You guys were killing it on the fucking Hyenas. So, my fake sponsor for the day, Chris D Comedy. Fuck you, Chrissy, if you don't get back with Giannis, although I love you. Now, going back to my kids fucking taking care of me, which is what we should be getting to as quickly as possible. I might be a little bit behind on this. I mean, my kids are fucking beautiful and wonderful and happy and talented, you know, just like their father. But they don't have a fucking record. U.S. toddler to release debut album recorded in the womb. This one kind of bugs me a little bit. It's kind of creepy, and we'll see if I have the audio of that too. Luca Yupanqui was recorded by her parents using biosonic MIDI technology. Okay, like I'm kind of cool with that. No problem. An American toddler, Luca Yupanqui, is gearing up to release her debut album, the world's first LP made from sounds inside the womb. Is it Luca a boy's name? We're getting to that. Her parents are Elizabeth Hart, a member of psych rock band Psychic Ills, and musician Ivan Diaz-Mathy, who has worked with Lee Scratch Perry and others. They're like, who the fuck is Lee Scratch Perry? Even if he's fucking wonderful, like, you put that in an article for fucking regular people to think they know who the fuck that is? And let's kind of fucking get right to this here. The girl's name is Lupa Yupanqui, and her mother's name is Elizabeth Hart, and her father's name is Ivan Diaz-Mathy. Where the fuck do you get Lupa Yupanqui from? Like, what the fuck is happening right now? I could have told you it was going to be some fucking stupid shit just by looking at this fucking picture. I wonder who they voted for. Probably not this guy. And, you know, fuck Trump. I like Trump and everything, but I think he did stupid shit, but this is easily the best fucking t-shirt of all time. Just so we're on the same page here. The recordings were then, her parents, in a 5-hour-long joint meditation session, they recorded Yupanqui in utero via electrodes on Hart's abdomen and using biosonic MIDI technology. The recordings were then edited down with Hart and Diaz-Mathy trying to intervene as little as possible, allowing Luca's message to exist in its raw form. Cuz my kids are fucking 3 and 1. They don't got no message yet other than I pooped myself or give me a cupcake. Okay? Like, they're not fucking trying to pass on some long-lasting fucking hymnums, okay? Hymnals? Hymnal, whatever. I don't go to church. The album, Sounds of the Unborn, will be released on the 2nd of April. Like, who the fuck actually releases albums now anyway? Already exhibiting the kind of confidence required by rock stars, Yupanqui is apparently a fan of her own work. How old is this fucking kid now, dude? They're not saying how old the toddler is? Her awareness of what was happening was astounding, said label Sacred Bones, regarding the mix sessions when she was a baby. She would open her eyes wide and stare at her parents, seemingly recognizing her own sounds from the womb, knowing they are revisiting those rituals that made them come together as one. Are we for real right now? Like, I heard, is this going to play? It is, good. So this is apparently sounds from the womb. This sounds kind of like some shit that, like, my father would have fucking listened to on, like, a fucking acid trip or some shit like that. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with these people. And this video is heavily acid trip-esque. Okay. I just can't. I just can't with that nonsense. Lupa, like, what the fuck does that name even mean? And they recorded the sounds coming from this lady's abdomen. Like, this isn't just sounds of, like, her shit, like, whirling around in her stomach. I mean, she looks like she doesn't actually eat anything and just does cocaine all day. So, I mean, maybe, but, like, I don't really get it with this. And I think this is fucking silly. Now, maybe they're rich. Maybe that's just their fucking thing. And they're, you know, if she's a psych synth rock band, probably not. But moving on to actual rich people, the downside to life in a super tall tower: leaks, creaks, and breaks. See, like, that looks good when you write it down, but then when you say it, it sounds stupid. Lakes, creaks, and breaks. Leaks, creaks, and breaks. Yeah, see? The nearly 1,400-foot tower at 432 Park Avenue, briefly the tallest residential building in the world, was the pinnacle of New York's luxury condo boom half a decade ago. 6 years later, residents of the exclusive tower are now at odds with the developers and each other, making it clear that even multi-million-dollar price tags do not guarantee problem-free living. The claims include millions of dollars of water damage from plumbing and mechanical issues, frequent elevator malfunctions, and walls that creak like the galley of a ship. Good fucking Lord, dude. Less than a decade after a spate of record-breaking condo towers reached the heights in New York, first reports of deficits and complaints are beginning to emerge. Like, I don't know who the fuck wants to live that high, dude. We're going to go more into this, but I had heard stories, I'm pretty sure it was about either this building or the 57th Street building in the city, where they weren't able to fucking sell those top floor apartments and shit like that. They were actually taking the penthouses and moving them to, like, a middle floor, so the very top ones were actually just regular fucking apartments. Like, nobody wants to be up that fucking high. It's really scary. The fucking buildings sway like crazy. And, you know, it sounds fucking super bougie, but if you're out an elevator, how the fuck are you going to get down, dude? You going to walk 90 floors? Because, I don't know. Like, my wife and I stayed at the fucking Marriott on 60-something Street for our anniversary a couple of years ago. It's a Courtyard and Residence Inn. And I believe they said it was the tallest hotel in the country. And we stayed on the 61st floor. And that shit was kind of whack, to be completely honest. Like, the noises that shit made was really creepy. Like, it really does fucking sway side to side, and you hear those noises all fucking night. Like, you know, it was nice. I gave my wife a nice little Magic Mike dance that night for our anniversary. It was good. But other than that, the actual looking out the fucking window of that portion was a fucking bug out, and I did not like it. Did not like it. I don't know, like, if there's like once you get past 50 or some shit, like, it's all downhill from there, but that shit was fucking way, way too much for me. The building, a slender tower that critics have likened to a middle finger because of its contentious height, that's kind of awesome, actually, is mostly sold out with a projected value of $3.1 billion. The 96th floor penthouse at the top of the building sold in 2016 for nearly $88 million to a Saudi company. The Jennifer Lopez and Alex Rodriguez bought a 4,000 square foot apartment there for $14.3 million in 2018 and then sold it about a year later. I'm telling you, people do not like these really tall fucking buildings. Until they start connecting to each other, like, at the top, or we have like fucking jet suits. I don't care how rich. I would rather go underground. Now, correspondence between residents, some of the richest, most influential people of the world, reveal thorny arguments over how to remedy the problems. I was convinced it would be the best building in New York. They're still billing it as God's gift to the world when they fucked up this. Like, there's got to be some code here. So they're selling off the board. The construction manager said they've been in contact. High floor, 3,500 square foot. Disappointed with her purchase. They put her, oh, here we go, sorry. They put me in a freight elevator surrounded by steel plates and plywood with a hard hat operator. That's how I went up to my hoity-toity apartment before closing. Okay, take it easy, lady. Now, one thing that would fucking bug me out, and water is I fucking hate water more than anything. The damage and fucking destruction it does is fucking terrible. Problems escalated from there. There have been a number of floods in the building, including 2 leaks in November 2018 that the general manager of the building acknowledged in emails to residents. The first leak was caused by a blown flange that connects piping around the high-pressure water feed on the 60th floor. 4 days later, a water line failure on the 74th floor caused water to enter elevator shafts, removing 2 of the 4 residential elevators from service for weeks. Because if I was on the fucking 60, 70, 80th floor of a building and it started flooding, I might jump out the window. Like, I would have a nervous breakdown immediately. Like, you would have to carry me out of there. Both events occurred on mechanical floors. Now, here's kind of the funny part, and then we're going to move on after this. Both events occurred on mechanical floors that have been criticized for being excessively tall, a design feature that allowed the developers to build higher than would otherwise have been permitted because mechanical floors do not count against the building's allowable size. So they're spending $3.1 billion on fucking a building, and they're still cutting corners. That they're making it taller by making these fucking mechanical rooms taller than they should be to try to give them more height and, better views and better numbers. So, I don't know. 500,000 damage. So, again, this is what New York and other cities are going to be. Like, they're going to just keep building these towers. They're building fucking Hudson Yards. They're building this one here. I couldn't do it. Now, it doesn't fucking matter because I'm never going to really make enough money to live in one of those. So, nor would I want to, but that shit is fucking crazy to me. And until we have like sky bridges connecting these buildings with like cloud cities, I'm fucking out. Deucey crypto update much later in the day today. Holy shit, 4:55 p.m. Bitcoin, 37,292, almost 5% for the day. Ethereum killing it, super killing it. 8.29% for the day, 1636, which is almost definitely a new all-time high. Litecoin doing great as well, 9% up for the day, 155.29. And we have Ripple actually making a little bit of a push again after fucking Redditors tried to come in and screw everybody over. 6% up for the day at 39 cents. Now, one thing that a lot of people say is that like China owns all the Bitcoin and like the elites are going to be able to kind of carry all the Bitcoin themselves. And if you hold a majority of the coin, then you can really kind of manipulate it. And if you want people to not use it, you can squash the price where the other people who have it, their price goes to fucking shit. But this is good news. Small and medium hodlers control 40% of the Bitcoin supply. Distribution keeps getting better, says Willy Woo, amid continued claims that Bitcoin as a network is too centralized. Bitcoin ownership is becoming more decentralized every day, data shows, allaying fears that the supply is being controlled by an elite. An elite? Maybe. Data from Glassnode reproduced by statistician Willy Woo shows the number of smaller Bitcoin holders and those holding coins on behalf of clients keep growing. Despite the Bitcoin to US dollar price rising to record highs in recent weeks, more, not fewer, small investors are coming on board. At the same time, long-time Bitcoin hodlers known as humpbacks, in reference to their status as largest and oldest whale investors in the space, are not cashing out. Distribution keeps getting better. Rough estimates is 40% of the available supply is controlled by small and medium hodlers. The numbers serve to alleviate fears of centralization fanned by recent articles in the mainstream press on the back of Bitcoin price rises and associated publicity. On a piece on January 31st, Bloomberg used a report from research entity Token Analysts to claim that Bitcoin's infrastructure, to quote, Bitcoin's infrastructure is more centralized than ever before, and that this was raising alarms about the security and viability of what is championed as a decentralized network. In late December, Forbes targeting mining as an alleged victim of Chinese centralization. So, I mean, this is good. It's blockchain and everything is a public, it's going to be a public service for everyone, regardless of government or where you live or anything like that. Everyone is going to be able to see everything that is done. Now, whether that's a positive or negative, fine. But the governments aren't going to just eat this. Gary Vee, I forget who he was talking to, but in a recent thing, they were talking to him about how crypto is going to change the world. And he said, it's going to be great, but it's also going to be terrible because it's going to destroy countries. Like, blockchain has the ability to annihilate governments by just making them completely unnecessary and useless. So we'll see where the price goes, but blockchain and shit like that is completely here to stay. Our last story is our local story for today, and a story that really fucking pisses me off. Montclair schools sue union to force teachers to return to the classroom. So we had previously reported on this a couple weeks ago, where almost all the schools are attempting to bring these kids back in some form, as the states are mandating. The state is mandating. But Montclair's teachers just refuse to go back. They just won't do it. Yet all the other teachers are going back, and the parents want the kids to go back. And Montclair said they made all the changes necessary to go back. The teachers are saying, fuck you, no, we're not going back. Okay. The Montclair School District is suing the Montclair Teachers Union to force teachers to return to their classrooms. In a statement Tuesday, the superintendent, Jonathan Pons, said he was taking the actions with a heavy heart. I see no other option but to instruct our legal counsel to fight a lawsuit against the MEA for a physical return to school. School and union officials have been locked in a bitter standoff since January 19th when elementary school teachers failed to attend an in-person training day to prepare for a return to hybrid. After the district was forced to cancel reopening, frustrated parents protested. So parents want their fucking kids to go back to school. In front of Edgemont School, stop harming kids, get our kids back to school. A sign draped over the entrance read, 318 days since our children have been in school. The district has been all virtual since the beginning of the pandemic last March. Come on, dude. Like, give the kids a couple days to go in, see their friend. Like, I don't know, man. Like, almost no kids of teenage age have gotten sick and super died from this. I know you pass it on to the parents and this and that, but for what percentages have we shut all this down? We're putting new things in our body. We're getting new laws, new regulations for something that has killed like 1% of the people who have gotten it, let alone the actual population of the country. Union officials quoting President Petal Robertson, I hope I have that wrong, and it's not like a flower petal. She responded to Pond's email with a fiery statement Tuesday afternoon saying that the district repeatedly lies and obfuscates the truth. Robertson is running for leadership position in the state teachers union, the NJEA. Whoa! So, did it get so fucking hot in here when I shut the door and I have 3 computers running and all these fucking lights on me? So this lady is running for a position in the States Union, the NJEA. So maybe she's stirring up all this shit to look like a fucking superstar and try to win her fucking election that's coming up. The union also stated that with his public statement, Pons violated the confidentially agreed to by the parties. We have been sucker punched by a district that cries wolf. Man, get the fuck out of here. When there are mounds of proof of the district's negligence in preparing buildings for students, where's this mounds of proof, babe? Where are the mounds of proof? You haven't given it to NorthJersey.com. I'll report on it if you'd like me to. By all means, let's go. In his statement, Pons said that he had proposed using only the 181 classrooms with working ventilation systems, teaching all kindergarten special ed students at the Charles Bullock School, constructed in 2010. So, it's basically a brand new school. He wasn't even going to put them in ones that have questionable air ventilation systems. Also giving them all PPP, limiting in-person instruction to 4 hours too. The union statement said Pons' plans failed to address busing schedules, cleaning and sanitizing needs, classroom rosters, and which staff are staying remote for health reasons. Go the fuck to work. What do you mean? Why does he have to address the busing schedules, cleaning and sanitizing needs? Clean the fucking schools. What's the problem? His promise that schools are ready is a hollow one. Smoke and mirrors meant to distract the community from the false narrative he's trying to paint himself as a fixture and part of the community. She's fucking really going in on this guy. Both of which, let's just be fair. This is Petal, and Mr. Pons is this guy. So before we get into any kind of racial fucking thing, that's not necessarily the case. Parent groups have organized on both sides, with those advocating return to the classroom staging protests and circulating a petition calling on the board to enforce the return to school. Some have advocated for outdoor learning, because this is fucking North Jersey. As in NorthJersey.com. In Montclair, there's fucking 2 feet of snow on the ground. How the fuck are you going to have outdoor learning? Are these people stupid? Woosah. It's a good thing. I do my headspace meditation 10 minutes before this podcast each day, or else I'd really be fucking wild. Pons, who is his first-year superintendent, acknowledged the rift in the relationship between the community and teachers. Our staff is discouraged and defeated. Our parents are frustrated. If we maintain the status quo, no one prevails. A survey taken in the fall showed that 70% of parents plan to send their children to school. So a large majority of the parents want the kids back in school, and the teachers are saying no. I don't like... It's not all horseshit, because some people are legitimately just frightened of this. And I think that's silly, but if you're just a scared person, then that is what it is. But, I've heard stories of people at school districts where they don't want to go back to school and they're making a big stink about not going back to the class, but then they can go out to eat and go hang out and go to Target and shit like that. So just be fair, dude. Just be fair. I hope every single one of those teachers who are fucking striking right now, they better not leave their house. Because you can't go to the grocery store, because those people shouldn't be there either. You can't go fucking get gas, because those people shouldn't be either. Why are the teachers in this particular situation less essential than the fucking grocery store workers or the fucking guy at fucking Best Buy? I don't know. Okay, boys and girls, thank you so much again. Feeling a little bit better today. Now that if you get a cold, you pretty much automatically have COVID now. So I ordered a COVID test because I kind of have a cold. I was today was kind of a lot better. I was sniffling really terribly in those clips that I posted yesterday. So maybe people think I'm a fucking cocaine addict, which if you saw how tubby I was still, even though I'm working out, you would see that that's not the case. But the sniffles were really killing me. So hopefully it's just a cold and those actually still exist now. And hopefully it's not the vid for the second time in 2 months. We'll see. I'm pushing through the podcast anyway, babe. We'll still be here. Say goodbye to Poppy Trump. I wonder where he even is right now. What's he doing? He's probably chilling. Trump is probably so happy right now. He's probably like, Jesus, thank God. Let all these people leave me alone. Just like me. Adios.